Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight, your one stop for the day's top stories. I'm Trishi and here are the headlines. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu delivers a public lecture on importance of legislatures, gives 10 suggestions on consideration, debate and decision for better functioning of the legislative bodies. Gujarat election enters the last lap. Campaigning hits fever pitch with parties holding multiple rallies across districts, going to polls in the second phase on the 14th of December. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is back on the campaign trail in Gujarat, continues his tirade against the opposition, saying that Congress leaders born with golden spoons will never understand what poverty is. Rahul Gandhi is elected unopposed as Congress president, longest-serving party president Sonia Gandhi to hand over the charge of the party after he is formally elected to the post on the 16th of December. And Russia, India and China decide to act unitedly against Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and other terrorist organizations proscribed by the United Nations Security Council, also resolve to work in tandem to destroy weapons of mass destruction. Our top story this evening, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today delivered a public lecture on the importance of legislatures organized by the PRS Legislative Research in Delhi. He said that it was necessary to reflect on the theme with just a few days to go before the commencement of the winter session of Parliament. Calling the legislature the central pillar of democratic governance, the Vice President said that it was the voice of the people and articulates their hopes, aspirations and dreams through laws that govern their lives. Describing the core functions of the legislature as legislative, representative and budgetary and oversight, the Vice President said that it is a perception that legislatures were meeting for very few days or that the time for deliberation and the number of legislations is steadily declining, but it is incorrect. Quoting figures, he explained that there was no ground to think that Parliament was abdicating its responsibilities. The Vice President also gave 10 suggestions for wider consideration, debate and decision. He also stressed on a more holistic assessment of efficiency based on different parameters like the number of sittings.
The annual sitting days of Rajya Sabha were 67 days during the period corresponding to 14th Lok Sabha and 71 days during the 15th Lok Sabha. During 16, the upper house met for 72 days. As early as in 1974, Rajya Sabha met for 109 days. But here is the catch. But from this, can we infer the Parliament has been abdicating its responsibility? I don't think that would be correct to come to such a hasty conclusion. During the immediate post-independence period, the requirement of legislation would obviously be much higher than at present. The range of socio-economic issues that were required to be addressed during 52-57 would be much wider in compared recent years. The quantum of legislature is a domain of executive based on felt requirements. As far as the legislation is concerned, Parliament comes into picture only after the executive forms up its legislative agenda. We need a more holistic assessment of the efficiency based on different parameters like number of sittings, number of bills passed, bills held up, the extent of participation by the members, duration of debates on each bill, the quality of debates, the number and the range of issues of public interest debated, the extent of disruptions, the reports of the committees submitted to the House, and I intend to soon discuss these issues with my counterpart, Honorable Speaker of the Lok Sabha and other presiding officers taking forward this idea. This is a resolution of the House by maintaining the inviolability of the question hour. If the question hour is disturbed, who are the losers? Members. Not the government. Minister will be happy. But how much money is spent Question goes 15 days before, it goes down to up to the district level, information is collected, and then it is prepared and put up to the secretary and to the minister. And then if the question do not come, okay, that's why they have resolved maintaining the inviolability of the question hour. It should not be violated. Second, refraining from transgressing into the official areas of the House or from any shouting of slogans. This is not my recommendation. This is the will of the Parliament. Third, invariably desisting from any efforts to interruption with the address of the President of the Republic or the Governor in the state. I hope that all political parties and individual members will internalize these norms and ensure their compliance.
Now, in the last week of the Gujarat election, campaigning has hit a fever pitch. Let's get you all details from there. Multiple rallies were held across districts that go to polls in the second phase on the 14th of December. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and BJP President Amit Shah campaigned across several districts. Here's a report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi was back on the campaign trail in Gujarat on Monday. Addressing a rally in Patan, the Prime Minister continued with his tirade against the opposition Congress. He said Congress leaders born with golden spoons will never understand what poverty is.
दुखना दाड़ा होय अनोय सगो भाई मोड़ू ना बतावे तो सुखना समय गमे तेटलो आईने गळे लागतो होय पर दुखमा मोड़ू ना बतावे ए भाई ने भाई कहवाय.
The Prime Minister said, anticipating defeat, leaders of the Congress had resorted to excuses, blaming EVMs and VVPATs.
जना देव होती लाव्या कि ईवीएम जोड़े ब्लूटूथ लगायु छे. ब्लूटूथ હવે અમને પ્રાથમિક નોલેજ નથી કે આ ચૂંટણીનું જે મશીન હોય છે એને ક્યાંય ઇન્ટરનેટનું કનેક્શન નથી હોતું.
BJP President Amit Shah also addressed rallies in Banaskantha, Anand and Vadodara districts.
મિત્રો, આ કોંગ્રેસ વાળાના આ વખતે જરા નસીબ બે ડગલા આગળ છે. એ કોંગ્રેસ જીતે છે કરતા યુપીમાં હારી ગયા. હવે અહીંયા રાહુલભાઈ ગુજરાતમાં પ્રચાર કરવા આવ્યા તો શું થયું? દરેક ગામમાં જ્યાં મંદિર હોય ત્યાં દર્શન કરવા પહોંચી જાય. અત્યાર સુધીમાં 23 મંદિરમાં દર્શન કરવા ગયા. બોલો, હું તો સ્વાગત કરું છું એનું. મને આનંદ થયો, કમસે કમ ભાજપની બીકથી મંદિરમાં તો જતા થયા, કોઈ દાડો નતા જતા.
Road shows of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi in Ahmedabad, scheduled for Tuesday, were denied permission by the Ahmedabad police. The police cited the Election Commission's guidelines and law and order situation in the city ahead of polling in the second phase on Thursday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, newly elected President of the Congress, Rahul Gandhi, was also in Gujarat. He addressed a string of rallies covering Tharad, Viramgam, Savli and Gandhinagar and attacked the BJP once again over demonetization and GST. He also attacked the Prime Minister on the issue of Lokpal.
With just 3 days to go for the second phase of polling in Gujarat, Congress's campaigner Rahul Gandhi held a series of rallies in the state. Addressing a public gathering in Banaskantha, Rahul once again accused Prime Minister Modi and his government of working for a select group of industrialists. He also claimed that the BJP's Vikas Yatra had flopped.
पिछले 22 साल में 6.5 लाख एकड़ जमीन मोदी जी ने अपने 10-12 उद्योगपति मित्रों को दी. नर्मदा का पानी आपको नहीं मिलता, किसान को नहीं मिलता, टाटा नैनो फैक्ट्री में जरूर जाता है. आपको रात को बिजली मिलती है, टाटा नैनो फैक्ट्री में 24 घंटे बिजली. गुजरात के किसान से जमीन छीनते हैं, उसको सही कॉम्पेंसेशन नहीं देते और उद्योगपति को 1 रुपए के लिए पकड़ा देते हैं.
Gandhi also attacked the government for bringing in demonetization and GST, moves he says were anti-poor. Rahul also responded to Prime Minister Modi's claim that Pakistan was meddling in the Gujarat election with the help of the Congress.
गुजरात का चुनाव हो रहा है, कभी मोदी जी अफगानिस्तान की बात करेंगे, कभी चाइना की बात करेंगे, कभी पाकिस्तान की बात करेंगे, कभी जापान की बात करेंगे। मोदी जी, गुजरात के भविष्य का चुनाव है, थोड़ी सी गुजरात की भी बात कर लीजिए।
Rahul exuded confidence that his party would emerge victorious in Gujarat. He also promised to waive off farmers' loans within 10 days of forming the government. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
And in the backdrop of the bitterly contested Gujarat elections, an unprecedented war of words broke out today between Prime Minister Modi and his predecessor, Dr. Manmohan Singh. The former Prime Minister today said that he was deeply pained and anguished by what he called, quote-unquote, falsehood being spread to score political points by none less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Replying to Modi's charge that Congress leaders had discussed the Gujarat election with Pakistani guests at a recent dinner hosted by suspended Congress leader Manishankar Iyer, Dr. Manmohan Singh said that the discussions revolved around India-Pak ties, not domestic politics or the Gujarat polls. Dr. Singh, former Vice President Hamid Ansari and former Army Chief Deepak Kapoor were among the guests at a dinner on Wednesday that also hosted the Pakistan envoy, a former Pakistani minister, an ex-Pakistan Army officer and former Indian diplomats and journalists. On to the other big national stories. And Sonia Gandhi, the longest-serving president in the Congress party's history, is expected to hand over charge of the party to her son Rahul Gandhi on the 16th of December. Rahul Gandhi was elected unopposed as Congress president on Monday and will collect the certificate formally declaring his elevation to the post. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was among those who congratulated Rahul Gandhi for his elevation.
The Congress party has got a new president after 19 years. On Monday, the party announced Rahul Gandhi's name for the post after no other candidate filed a nomination.
As per Article 18D of the Constitution of International Congress, I hereby declare Sri Rahul Gandhi elected as the President of the International Congress. The handing over of certificate of election as Congress President is scheduled to be held on 16th December 2017.
Rahul Gandhi entered politics in 2004, winning a seat to the Lok Sabha from Amethi. He was later given the responsibility of managing the party's campaign in the 2012 assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and the 2014 general elections.
Much before he was elected, he has already shown his mettle, and once he is now he is elected today, officially announced by the election authority of the Congress party. He knows his responsibilities, he knows his priorities very well.
Rahul Gandhi ji निर्विरोध रूप से इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस के प्रेसिडेंट हुए हैं। मैं राहुल गांधी जी को बधाई देता हूं कि उनके नेतृत्व में हम सब लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे।
Rahul Gandhi has been the party's vice president since 2013. He was also in charge of the youth wing of the Congress for a long time. Rahul Gandhi is the 6th member of the Nehru-Gandhi family to take charge of the Congress. Prior to him, Motilal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi have served in the post of president of the Grand Old Party. Rahul's mother, Sonia Gandhi, has been president since 1998. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
With a quick break here, up next we'll get you international news. From a regional power to an assertive global leader.
Image building is a very complex exercise. You can gain on some fronts, but you can lose on other fronts.
India is changing and there will have to be give and take. The old days of colonialism are over.
We have a strategic partnership agreement that includes areas of cooperation in all fields, including security and defense.
India is taking confident strides on the global stage.
Pakistan is now Terroristan.
New friendships, stronger ties. Join me, Tracy Shilshi, every Monday at 10 p.m. as I speak to India's foreign policy elite. Catch all the action on India's World, only on Rajya Sabha TV. Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, India, Russia and China on Monday reiterated their resolve to fight terrorism. The RIC grouping also discussed in detail the situation in war-torn countries like Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq and other Middle Eastern countries. The trio also decided to work in tandem to act against weapons of mass destruction, including biological and chemical weapons. The next RIC meeting will take place in China.
Russia, India and China have decided to act unitedly against Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and other terrorist organizations proscribed by the United Nations Security Council. The decision was taken at a meeting of the foreign ministers in Delhi on Monday. The meeting, held in a trilateral format, is popularly known as RIC. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi were present for the meeting. The three countries also talked about the major regional and international issues in the new emerging situation. On terrorism, they resolved to combat proscribed organizations jointly.
आतंकवाद पर चर्चा के दौरान इस बात का उल्लेख किया कि आतंकवादी संगठनों जैसे दाइश, जिसे ISIS भी कहते हैं, अल-कायदा, लश्कर-ए-तैयबा आदि के आतंकी कारनामों में बढ़ोतरी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय शांति और सुरक्षा के प्रयासों को प्रभावित कर रही है और वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत करने और टिकाऊ विकास को सुनिश्चित करने की हमारी कोशिशों को धक्का पहुंचा रही है। भारत वैश्विक आतंकवाद से निपटने के लिए एक व्यापक नीति बनाने की पुरजोर सिफारिश करता है।
Fourth, we will strengthen international and regional cooperation on counter-terrorism, eliminate the breeding ground of terrorism, combat the three forces of regional terrorism, separatism and extremism. Fifth, we will facilitate the establishment of an open world economy.
Russia, India and China also discussed in detail situations in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq and other Middle Eastern countries. They also decided to work in tandem to destroy weapons of mass destruction, including biological and chemical weapons. Russia has supported avenues of cooperation between India and China in the Asian region. On its part, China underlined the new avenues of cooperation among the three countries.
It is both useful and a format that allows to have a clear picture of the steps that should be taken to shape the current world order. Russia, India and China share this assessment. We want to see the world multipolar, that is an objective trend, the world that would be built upon the international law, the respect for the United Nations Charter principles.
As the core, the North-South cooperation as the main channel, and South-South cooperation as the supplement. 10th, we will promote connectivity building of the Eurasian continent, follow the principle of extensive consultation, joint contribution and shared benefits, commit to policy, infrastructure, trade, financial and people-to-people connectivity, ensure that our connectivity initiatives complement instead of contradicting with each other, and supplement instead of conflicting with each other to foster scale effects and regional integration.
The three foreign ministers also held bilateral meetings separately before the formal RIC meet. They discussed bilateral issues and how not to allow small issues like Doklam stand in the way of their mutual cooperation. The RIC was established in 2002 with a view to create an atmosphere of understanding and trust among the three countries.
Russian, Indian and Chinese foreign ministers decided to keep engaged, not only in formal setting, but also in informal settings without any agenda. That is very important for trust building among the three great nations of the world. This will impact not only peace, but also start a new wave of cooperation among the three countries. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Delhi.
Now, days after conducting their largest ever 5-day joint air exercise in South Korea, US and South Korea, along with Japan, are carrying out 2-day-long military drills in the region. The exercise comes amid heightened tension in the region after North Korea fired its most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile.
Amid rising tensions over North Korea's weapons program, Russia and China have criticized the joint military exercise by the US, Japan and South Korea that is currently underway in the waters near the Korean peninsula and Japan. Russia has warned that the exercise will create more instability in the region.
Нагнетание военной истерии с обеих сторон, проведение учений, которые становятся все время масштабнее, оно не способствует стабилизации обстановки.
China too said that the situation on the peninsula was entering a vicious cycle that favors no one.
在当前这种形势下，有关各方应当做的还是完整、准确的、全面的执行联合国安理会所通过的涉朝决议，多做一些有利于本地区和平稳定，有助于将所有相关各方拉回谈判桌的。
On Monday, the US and its two Asian allies started joint exercises to track missiles from North Korea. The two-day exercise is the sixth since June 2016. This week's exercise comes just days after large-scale drills by the US and South Korea and less than 2 weeks after Pyongyang test-fired a new intercontinental ballistic missile, declaring it had achieved nuclear statehood. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday urged the European Union to follow US President Donald Trump's lead and recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. But EU ministers refused to accept Trump's decision. Netanyahu said that he expected Europeans to follow suit, but even Israel's closest European allies, such as the Czech Republic, warned that Trump's decision was bad for peace efforts. While France insisted Jerusalem's status could only be agreed upon in a final deal between Israelis and Palestinians. EU foreign ministers reiterated the EU's position that the land of Israel has occupied since a 1967 war, including the West Bank, East Jerusalem and the Golan Heights, are not part of the internationally recognized borders of Israel. European Union foreign ministers said that they did not support US President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
European position, we still see the two-state solution as the only way forward with regard to the peace process. We believe that all steps that make it more difficult for the bilateral negotiations to lead to a meaningful settlement are not helpful. So I expect to have a very frank exchange of views. I think that holding this meeting, even though it was scheduled well before the statement from last week, is very timely and is very necessary.
To be quite clear, we do not agree with the announcement that Jerusalem is the capital. It should have been a final status issue. And in particular, of course, Jerusalem is divided between East and West, and East Jerusalem is most certainly not part of Israel.
And here are more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. Saudi Arabia announced lifting a 35-year-long ban on cinemas as part of social reforms by the powerful Crown Prince. The government said that it will begin licensing cinemas immediately, and the first multiplexes are expected to open in March 2018. Reviving cinemas represents a paradigm shift for Saudi Arabia. The kingdom is promoting entertainment as part of the sweeping reform plans. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Algerian President Abdelaziz Bouteflika exchanged congratulatory messages on the successful launch of Alcomsat-1 satellite at the Xichang Satellite Launch Center in China. Alcomsat-1 is the first cooperative project in aerospace between China and Algeria. The satellite will also serve Algeria's emergency communication, distance education, e-governance, enterprise communication, broadband access and satellite-based navigation. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia will keep its Heymim air base in Syria's Latakia province as well as its naval facilities at Tartus on a permanent basis. He ordered Russian forces in Syria to start withdrawing, saying that after a 2-year military campaign, Moscow and Damascus had achieved their mission of destroying the Islamic State. And finally, on a different note, putting a stop to rumour mills, Indian cricket captain Virat Kohli and actress Anushka Sharma tied the knot in a very private ceremony in Italy. Both announced the news of the wedding on Twitter. We're leaving you now with some of the pictures from their wedding.